What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is a simple one called Manifesting is Easy, Don't Make It Harder Than It Has to Be. Here it is. A reminder for those who need it. I'd like to say I've mastered manifesting at this point, and I can say without a doubt it's completely real for anyone questioning if their affirming/visualizing is doing anything. It is. Something you must remember is that when you see in your mind, what you see in your mind is reality. When you affirm for a desire or picture it once, it is done. That's it. You really don't have to do anything else and it will manifest. It really is that simple. But oftentimes our mind may wander and we make it more difficult than it has to be. So this is where affirming and visualizing come in. When you're affirming or visualizing, you are reminding yourself it already happened or you already have it. If you can see it or say it in your mind, it is done. You're never trying to get something by affirming. You are simply reminding yourself of what you already know. You are remembering. Do not look to the 3D world as a marker of your success, or you'll always be searching and again trying to manifest something. Instead, look inside as the marker. Do you see it? Or can you talk about it? Can you hear it? Can you feel it? Then it's done. Congratulations, you manifested it. Side note, feeling it is not a requirement, but often a byproduct of visualizing or affirming for your desire. Do not force it. You were never failing. You were never off track. If you can see it in your mind, you have it. It's done. Even if your 3D does not conform right away, even if you see the complete opposite of what you've been envisioning, it does not matter. If you can see it in your mind, it's done. And without a doubt, it will manifest in this 3D world. That's the law. And I can personally attest to this. I affirmed for financial growth every day and was extremely consistent about it, but was seeing no changes in the outer world. I was actually seeing losses in my business, but I continued to affirm and see it in my mind. I reminded myself daily, it doesn't matter if my bank account said 0 or 1,000,000 in this 3D world. What matters is the number I see in my mind. Because what I'm seeing before me right now is old news. It's outdated manifestations. It's just as the page hasn't refreshed yet or the numbers haven't updated yet, but I know they will. Lo and behold, I started seeing my reality reflect my manifestations. A kind follower offered to donate to me $1,000 out of nowhere just because she loved my content. Then other followers started donating and I saw my YouTube channel start to take off, exactly like I've been manifesting. You do not need to affirm 24/7, visualize all the time, or make yourself crazy. Affirm whenever you think of the topic, even if it's just a quick visualization or one affirmation. Affirm by writing down your affirmations and reading them, looking at Pinterest boards, watching uplifting movies, or listening to uplifting songs, visualizing, create a vision board, make affirmation cards, whatever you want. As long as your focus is on what you want, it doesn't matter the technique you use. Go into your imagination and enjoy what is already yours. Do that whenever you feel like it. Don't feel the need to make it perfect or always loop the same visual if you don't want to. Just enjoy it in any way that feels right. The more you practice this and manifest things, the easier it gets and the less affirming or reminding you need to do. Once again, the most important thing is to realize that your mind is reality and you have your desire instantly every single time. Look for proof inwards. And every time you affirm or visualize what you want, you are on track. There's no off track. I don't care if you cried, reacted to the 3D, affirmed the complete opposite for days or even weeks. As soon as you affirm what you desire once, one time again, it's yours, it's done. I affirm this post will be helpful to at least one person who needs to hear it. Thanks for reading. Note, some of these tips are influenced by various posts in this group as well as my own experience. I felt they were the most significant in making it all click for me, so I figured someone may appreciate the reminder and summary. So the top comment here is, this reminder came at the perfect time for me. Thank you. I actually feel like I can say circumstances don't matter and truly believe it because they don't. So people are asking them actually what their TikTok or YouTube channel is. Okay, so there's quite a few comments on here. Somebody's asking what they think the difference between fantasy and imagination is. So the reply is, if this helps, you aren't your thoughts, behaviors, emotions, or even states. You're the I am before the state, and you can't lose a state, just fall out of it, because you can always get back into it. So if you were having thoughts of certain things, that isn't the same as a state. Therefore, you probably wouldn't manifest it if it's stemming from that state. Yeah, so I mean, it is just like they said, it's just a reconfirmation of the things, a lot of the posts that are on this subreddit. And the part about this that I found the most interesting was here. Let me see. I started seeing my reality reflect my manifestations. A kind follower offered to donate to me $1,000 out of nowhere just because she loved my content. Then other followers started donating to my channel, and I saw my channel take off exactly like I've been manifesting. So that's, I think, a key takeaway from this, and they don't even really go into mentioning this, but is the, so we've talked recently about naturalness, the feeling of naturalness. I had that video about being unbothered and the way that certain characters in movies, being unbothered and being not overly analytical, so not coming at things from this overly analytical frame of mind, just trying things, just continuing to throw stuff at the wall, continuing to do in the spirit of, well, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. And I saw somebody post a video recently where it really did also touch on the same subject. Like, now we are in this era where, in this example, and in any business that we want to make nowadays, we have the ability to put out, to test something out and see what people's reactions are almost instantaneously now with the power of the internet. And it's really awesome this time that we're in, because we can tweak things, whatever it is that we're doing. If we're a creative, if we're making music, if we are trying to sell a product online, if we are putting out skits, maybe we want to be an actor, we desire to have some sort of product or service that we're putting out to the market, whether it's ourselves that we're marketing in the form of us being a creator, or if it is a product or service, like I said, which we are, it could even be the sales process, but immediately you get that instant feedback. Whereas in the generation of our parents or before, if we wanted to start up a business, like a brick and mortar business or any sort of venture like this, it would take us so much longer to get that feedback and to test out our ideas, to see if they are validated, to see if the market wants what it is that we're putting out. And it's a really cool time that we're in, because we can do this, get this feedback instantaneously, and just keep trying different stuff. We don't have to go into the overthinking analytical side so much, where it's like, well, what are all the mistakes and what are all these things? Like, because to be honest, that is what gets in our own way sometimes. That is where we get in our own way, when we analyze, when we go into the analysis. And I was watching a podcast as well with Rick Rubin, who is an extremely prolific producer. He's produced for some of the greatest artists, the most talented people: Adele, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Beastie Boys, tons of people from all kinds of different genres over the course of decades, and has had produced hit after hit after hit. And talking about the creative process, he talks about this as well. It's like, whatever you're doing, whether it be creative, because business is creative as well. So if it is something that you're creating, something that you're working towards, this mentality that this person's talking about here is like, yeah, these results that I'm getting. So okay, so let's say that you're making a song, like Rick Rubin was working on something, and somebody tells him like, oh, this isn't good, it's not lit, whatever. He doesn't care, because he knows as a creative person that he's tapped into something. He gets that intuitive feeling that this is something fresh, something new, something that the world needs or wants, or that there is this sort of fresh idea that can, sometimes people aren't ready for that. Sometimes people aren't ready for it. And if you go and take really to heart all the negative criticisms, whether it's your own intrusive thoughts, whether it is external voices that you're hearing, that is what can be debilitating and can allow you to, like this person says, that's just old news. So whether it's your own thoughts, whether it's the outside world telling you, oh, you're not going to get X goal that you're going for, you just view that as, look, that's old news. That is just, doesn't matter how many times that I see that. I can imagine it one time in my mind. I can see it happening. I can understand on a very visceral level in my own being, in my own body, that this is real. This is true for me. This is my truth. And I'm carrying and walking with this certainty that is. I'm doing it in a certain way. And carrying that energy. I mean, this person describing it from their own words, that's really what a lot of information that is out there is pointing towards. It's talking about, when Neville says, feel it real. When Neville says, talks about the feeling of naturalness. The feeling of naturalness is something that, it's natural for me to do something that I'm certain that I'm going to be able to get done. So it's like, as certainly as I know that I can turn my camera on, my phone on, and start recording a video, is the same certainty that I'm going into with releasing a song or releasing a product or starting a business venture or acing that exam or getting that new job that I want. I mean, getting that person. So that partner. And really just being able to do that, I've talked before about how action, it's both. And in the manifesting community, they tend to talk more about, the mindset and the feelings and all this. And in the self-help community, they talk all about the discipline and the action that you're taking. And really what it is the marriage of both. When the will is in harmony with the imagination, then it's like you become unstoppable, because you're doing the things and now you are acting as if, because you're acting as that person. By recording these videos, like this person talking about, they have an example. They saw themselves, their YouTube channel blowing up. I'm not sure. It would have been nice if they would have said exactly, but they did kind of touch on how they're like, oh, it's like the screen hasn't refreshed yet. And that could also be looking at their follower account or looking at their bank account numbers. And so they're like, oh yeah, it hasn't refreshed yet. I'm about to get $1,000 out of nowhere. And that's exactly what happened. The channel started to take off exactly like they'd been thinking. And like they said, you don't need to be doing this all the time to make yourself crazy if that isn't in alignment with you. Some people like that. Some people like to affirm continuously throughout the day. It's really just whatever you want that allows you to be in that state for it's natural to me. People could argue that by affirming all day long, then you're not naturally in that state. Maybe there's some validity to that if you think so. But I also think that thinking that you are, a lot of people that are naturally good at things, I don't know what their internal dialogue is, but I know for me, when I was doing sales and I had a lot of success with that, my internal dialogue was like that confidence going in every single time. Like, yeah, I'm going to kill this. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, I'm phenomenal at sales. I'm a phenomenal salesman, and people are going to buy buy today. People are going to buy. Like, everybody loves what I'm selling. Everybody loves what I'm putting out there. And I don't think that that's necessarily like a fact. If you want to go and say that, by affirming it, it means that it's not natural, I would disagree. I think that a lot of people that are able to have success, they're always thinking like, yeah, I'm the shit. I'm the man. I'm that bitch. Like, whatever they say, it's like people walk around with this internal dialogue going in their head all the time. We always are thinking. The purpose of meditation, some types of meditation, is to quiet the mind. But our thoughts are always going on in the background. We're having thousands and tens of thousands of thoughts a day. And that's what science has proven at this point. And a lot of them are repeated thoughts. And you're repeating a similar story. And if that story is not serving your manifestation or your goals, you need to change up the story. You need to insert the thoughts of your choosing. You need to insert the thoughts that, yes, I am a success at whatever I'm doing. Yes, I am blowing up on YouTube. I'm blowing up on TikTok. The people are donating. Like in this person's case, that's what they're manifesting, right? So it really just goes to, like they said, your own way of getting you there. But we've talked about this before on the channel. I think robotic affirming is one of the best ways you can do that. Now, if you want to add a visualization practice to that, or a scripting practice as well, I think those are both amazing things as well. In fact, I think writing down your goals is a very therapeutic thing. And Rick Rubin, in this podcast that I'm talking about with Andrew Huberman, he talks about how writing an idea written down, capturing your ideas is a very important thing as well. And whatever it is that we're doing, again, anything is creative in this world. Anything is generative. Whether we're trying to make a business, we're trying to create art, or we're trying to pursue any sort of goal, a lot of it has to do with that. And the ability to write things down so that they're not floating in your mind and you're not thinking, oh, well, am I going to remember that or not, can be very helpful as well. And helpful in the visualization process as well. I think that scripting and visualization can actually go hand in hand as a practice, because if you're writing out a result that you want, let's say that this person in this example is writing down, my followers are loving my content, they're actually donating, they're hitting that buy me a cup of coffee button, they're loving what I'm doing. That by scripting, you are now imagining those scenes. And so whatever that looks like on her TikTok account, it could be that they're hitting that donation button and those little animations are popping up. It could be that, that it's the same thing on Twitch, and it could be and YouTube is now offering that as well. It could be imagining their PayPal account, imagining this person sent you X amount of dollars, imagining the Venmo notification pop up on your phone, imagining going to the bank and withdrawing the money. And all of these different things, they come up as you script. So if you guys want to do that, that's something that I don't really talk about scripting all that much on this channel, but if you guys would be interested in that, I can share with you guys my scripting process, because to me, like I said, scripting and visualization really go hand in hand. It's like when I script, it naturally causes me to visualize. But with that being said, guys, this whole mentality too, manifesting is easy, don't make it harder than it has to be, is another good one to adopt. It's just, where are you at in that process? Are you actually getting manifestations coming through? Are you actually getting some good positive results? Can you feel comfortable saying that? Because again, the mind will resist what it doesn't feel. If you feel like you're telling a lie to yourself, that's why it can be helpful to have a sort of growth approach. It's like, this process is becoming easier and easier. It's becoming easier and easier for me to visualize. It's becoming more and more easy for me to create my intention, for me to set my intentions in the day. I'm getting in that relaxed state where things are coming more and more natural. I'm feeling the feeling of naturalness more and more. It's feeling more and more natural to me. I'm becoming more and more of a natural at manifesting. So anyways, guys, I hope that this video helped. I know this went on like a little bit longer. I just wanted to touch on this because, it's all well and good to look at these posts and it's like, that's it. Like these persons saying, it's already done. If you see it once, then it's done. Congratulations. It's another thing to go into the techniques, go into the examples that really kind of shed light so that you guys can have something to actually latch onto from this and be like, okay, that's how this makes sense. That's how this is clicking for me. And I hope that something did from this video. But with that being said, guys, much love as always. Hit me with a like, hit me with a subscribe if you have not done so already, and I will see you guys in the next video.